Hmm. Good afternoon, folks. This is CloudChartist. Sorry for that in the beginning there. I was having a little technical difficulties. I'm going to go through this as fast as possible so I can get back to watching the Rockets take care of the Clippers. So we're starting with CL on the weekly time frame. We see that this is the big picture. This is bearish in Ichimoku terms, but we see that we closed over the Kijun-sen here on the weekly time frame, the Kijun-sen being at 60.12, and we got a close of 60.77. So technically, we're making bullish progress here. This is an inside candle, so we're still in the prior uptrend. So keep an eye on that 60.17 level. If we get back below that level, then we could head for the flat Tenkan-sen down below, or we can continue higher. As far as resistance to the upside, we have the cloud you can see, but that's not for a while. So this week's candle is going to open up here, so resistance is way up at 86, but chances of us getting 86 next week are very slim. So, but eventually, if we do continue higher, the Chikou is going to run into candles and need to get through around 65 level. I know everybody's looking for 64 based on some kind of measured double bottom type move. I don't know about that. Anyway, let's move along. We're going to go through the major indexes pretty fast because they are all looking quite bullish. Let's put the ES. Fully bullish in Ichimoku terms. Got a nice bounce off the Tenkan-sen. Tenkan-sen starting to tip up, made a new high. Hammer candle. Overall, totally bullish. If we zoom out, you can see it's perfectly bullish uptrend. In fact, it's hard to understand why anybody would have been bearish recently, except for when this candle, the last week's candle, the week before last, came down, broke through the Tenkan-sen, and was headed toward the Kijun-sen. That was slightly bearish, but not really. Alright, let's look at the YM, which did not put in a new high last week, but is still looking quite bullish. Came down, nearly tagged the Tenkan-sen, but did not, and then put in this bullish hammer close on the highs. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has a flat Tenkan-sen and a flat Kijun-sen, so looking more sideways. Also, the cloud is looking flatter ahead of time, so not quite as bullish at the moment in appearance as the ES, but it was previously more bullish, so maybe it's just resting while other stuff catches up. It's well off its prior high of 45.55, but as long as it holds the Tenkan-sen at 44.07, we can expect continued bullishness. Let's look at Russell. Russell is a little bit less bullish than the rest as it's running up into the resistance at the Tenkan-sen here, right here. It closed just under Tenkan-sen, just over a Tenkan-sen resistance. I'm not really sure. Hold on. Just under Tenkan-sen resistance. 12.42.20 is the Tenkan-sen here, and it closed at 12.41.60. So it needs to get back above that level in order to go higher. But we have obvious prior resistance at 12.65.50 level. So let's go to gold, which has been seeing some activity last week. Gold, after bouncing off the Tenkan-sen, put in a very bullish candle, breaking into the weekly cloud, but did find resistance at the Kijun-sen. So before you get ready to buy a ton of gold and put it under your bed, you might want to keep an eye on that weekly Kijun-sen level here, which is 12.24.70. If we do get over that, we do have the Chikou over here, to this red line to the left, representing price time shifted 26 periods into the past. That is going to come into resistance here at the Kijun-sen above at 12.38.60. Let's look at silver. Silver coming right into the weekly cloud resistance here. So I've been trying to fade this move, but it was a little bit tough on Friday. Just not a lot of action really. Potentially because we have this resistance level right here. If we do break into the cloud, we could go higher to the top of the cloud here, or we could find resistance slightly lower because of this Chicow over here coming into resistance at the Kijun Sen around 1830. I will be looking to fade this back towards 1643. 1647 at the moment, but we'll see where the Tenkan Sen opens up on the next candle. Let's look at bonds. I'm going to do a separate video at some point later about my thoughts on ZV. This is the continuous contract here, so you see this the weird gap. But anyway, so bonds came down and broke underneath the Kijun Sen, the flat Kijun Sen here, which was quite bearish, and then they put in a substantial bounce last few days, as well as the Eurobond got sold very hard, and the 30-year Treasuries pretty much represented the Eurobond on Friday getting bought up. Some postulated that the Japanese were buying the 30-year. I really don't know, but the chart says bullish hammer, potential trend reversal to the upside. Let's see what happens when we get up to 158.31. If we do get continued selling, look at 153.16, the Kijun Sen to the downside. 10-year. Oops. 10-year also sold below the cloud and then put in a hardy bounce, but then was unable to get over the Tenkan Sen at 128.050, with close underneath at 128.005. So watch for the Tenkan Sen to provide resistance, and also the Kijun Sen above that at 128.115. This chart is fully bullish, but some bearish factors are that we have a bear cross of the Kijun Sen over the Tenkan Sen, and we are also with a pretty flat sideways looking cloud at the moment on CN. Let's look at coffee. Coffee is still bear flagging underneath the cloud. This chart is fully bearish, except we happen to get a close over the Tenkan Sen, which could be significant. Tenkan Sen's at 138.05, and we closed at 138.90. So if we can get some continuation and continue to stay above the Tenkan Sen, we could see higher prices going up. We have an open body gap here at to 153.25, but we can cross that bridge when we get to it. That's quite a ways away. Otherwise, look for the Tenkan Sen at 138.25 to reject and see more downside pressure on coffee. That level, the Tenkan Sen is key. 138.25. Keep an eye on. Let's look at corn. Corn's still bearish under the cloud. Not doing much. Could get a bounce up to 377.13, Tenkan Sen and the cloud confluence. But otherwise, Chicow is still under the candles. Not very exciting. A lot of people talking about wheat last week because it put in a very bullish reversal last week and then continued and closed over the Tenkan Sen. Even though this chart is bearish and under the cloud, the fact that we closed over the Tenkan Sen means we could see higher prices, perhaps to this prior resistance area of 535.98, which also happens to be the cloud. So if you're trading wheat to the upside, keep that area in mind, 535 area and 502.50 to the downside. Soybeans looking quite bearish after being rejected from the Tenkan Sen and heading lower. Keep 969.75 in mind with your soybeans. Look at the Nikkei. Nikkei, very nice, bullish, pullback to breakout pattern. It came down, tested the Tenkan Sen and bounced, came down, blasted through the Tenkan Sen as if to scare everyone into thinking we were headed for the Kijun Sen, and then put in a hammer candle above it, and then once again this week we came down, tested slightly below the Tenkan Sen and closed above with a hammer candle. This chart looks very bullish for new highs. The only reason I would have hesitate to say that is we're quite extended above the cloud, and the cloud is going flat in the future. Let's look at the dollar. Dollar lost a very important support level at 94.08, the weekly future sen, and headed significantly lower. For a while it was really hanging on the edge there. Like on Thursday I thought it was going to hold, but indeed it did not. So unless the dollar can reclaim 94, about the level 94 soon, it could see significantly lower prices. I don't see any particular Ichimoku support coming up for a while. We do have this open body gap here to close. That's down at about 91.45. And if we do go sideways for a while, we do have a rising cloud, so the dollar could catch up with the rising cloud eventually, but that's not until later in the summer. And one more, I'll just look at the euro, then I'll wrap it up. Put in something correctly. The euro is trading in this range here. Overall, the chart is bearish, but we've been in a nice uptrend lately, as the dollar's been in a nice downtrend, and you see that the Kijun Sen offers resistance above that 1.1515. So keep an eye on that if we do head higher. Otherwise, we're going to be trading in a range between 1.1515 and 1.0993 to go down south. All right. Thanks for joining me. If you are interested in my work, check out my website at CloudChartist.com. I do have a chat room that I run. It's a great place to get really hands-on, one-on-one help with trading futures. We primarily focus on futures, but we work with Ichimoku Charts in there every day, and we trade a lot of crude oil, bonds, ES, some currencies, metals, silver. There are lots of talented people in my room, and thanks for watching, and catch you next time.